illustrious majesty, at the express wish of the Royal Spymaster, I've got a special breakfast prepared for you today, consisting of sample platters for the menu for the upcoming gala. We'll start you off on the consommé of oxtail and guinea pheasant with good white bread and some seaweed butter. I mean, that sounds pretty good, but then we have a selection of 39 cheeses from across the realm on a political mat made of crackers and paired with fruits and wine. Did you say 39 cheeses? Then for our next course, we'll have eggs fabrage. That's eggs boiled in stock, devilled and gilded with gold leaf and caviar, so you know, quite decadent. Rudy. Then for our salad course, we have imperator salad with chicken, anchovies, endives, and the finest quality olive oil. Rudy. Then fresh from the harbour, we have a black sea bass smothered in fried squid and crawfish tails served with a rosé tomato salad and a chili lemon vinaigrette. Rudy! Oh, sorry, Your Majesty, was there something on the menu that caught your eye? Aye, a few things actually. You know that this is a 12-course set menu plus a banquet table and that we are presently in a state of peak food insecurity, aye? So this set menu is no longer than my entire authorized biography. Did you really intend on serving even 200 nobles all this food? Well, I was told Their Majesty had a large appetite. Yeah, but even at my hungriest, I wouldn't need to eat. You know, that actually leads me to my second point. I didn't even know that half of the things on this menu were edible. A dish of doves? Doves are like 90% feathers. Well, yes, that's why we put the feathers back on after we roast them. You what? Well, it's like Your Majesty said, they're about 90% feathers, so there's not a lot to look at if you don't put them back on the plate afterwards. Plus, how would you then differentiate between your poached peacock and your grilled grouse? Hey, that's another thing. Why does half of this insanely elaborate menu involve doing weird shit to birds? Weird, Your Majesty? Goose Laurent stuffed with chestnuts and its own foie gras, roasted and served in an officer's cloak. A whole ostrich propped up on gold wire with its head stuffed in a partridge pie. And just what the hell is an ortolan? Oh yes, that's a Bouchonnaise delicacy. It's actually a songbird that's gorged on grain to the point of near bursting before being drowned in a cask of brandy and being roasted and served, bones and beak and all, to be eaten whole. When you're actually chewing it, you need to have a special cloth over your face to hide your shame from. That's plenty, Rudy. Okay, message received. Was there anything else, Your Majesty? Aye, where's my porridge? What? My porridge, Rudy. The plain porridge with salt and a bit of milk that I have requested for my breakfast every morning of every day for the last 10 or so years that I have been running the city, duchy and country. So I ask again, Rudy, where's my porridge? Well, you see, I got told by the Royal Spymaster to, surprise you today? Surprise me? Yeah, in fact, I was instructed specifically to surprise you by serving me literally anything else other than my requested plain oats and milk? Well, not in so many words, but in effect, yes. Well, I'm certainly surprised. Did the Spymaster specify as to why? Are we out? Well, you know, I thought I'd use up what we had before I went to the market to replenish the stores, plus, I mean, is plain oats and milk really the appropriate breakfast of a monarch? Spot on, Rudy. Spot on. It is not the breakfast of a monarch, is it? Because I've not always been the monarch, have I? Well, yeah, but you are now, so why wouldn't I spend every moment of every day alternately drowning myself in the finest wines and stuffing my hole with honey dormice, game birds, and red meat until the gout takes me? Well, yeah. Rudy, I was born on a tenant farm. I worked with my hands and body from the moment that I turned age 10, and I come from a land where, in good times and bad, war and peace, lean times and fat, the three things that we could depend on were oats, salt, and water. What about the milk? Rudy, I wear a gold hat to do my job. We can spare enough for milk. That's fair, aye. It's more than fair, Rudy. It's frankly reasonable. Cereal grains make up the foundation of the working diet of every soul in the realm. Regardless of station, we all need water and grain in order to survive the hardest of times. So if I, a literal head of state, can't get plain porridge for my breakfast, it means there has been a massive breakdown in the national logistics and food supply of the realm, or put plain as porridge, shit has hit the fan. Ding, 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 you have solved the puzzle, dear Rudy. Now, this is a shopping list bearing my royal seal. Get down the markets and get everything that we require to refill my stores at fair market price. And then I want you to prepare my breakfast and tell me exactly how much my bowl of porridge costs. Alright? Rudy, I'm really trying to suppress the suspicion that you're hiding something from me, mate. Right away, Your Majesty! Good lad. I love coffee. I was gonna say, 'tis a warm, fine morning, but coffee. I heard you, there isn't any yet. No coffee? Not yet, dear. Rudy was just taking the breakfast order. This late? I slept a little later than intended and I've sent him to the markets to buy a few things. Why wouldn't you bring the coffee and ask what we wanted for breakfast afterwards? Whoa! Babe, what's going on? Nothing. I literally pay you to be better at lying than this, so either you want me to know that something's wrong or you're in such a bad way that you can't cover it up. So what's the matter? And will you take off those bloody shades? Oh my God, pet. When did you last sleep? When did Parliament pass the Brigg, Brock and Bothy Act? You haven't slept in 4 months? No, I have, just not a lot. Babe! Well, how could I sleep? There's 1,000,001 issues that if left unattended could send you flying into a murderous rage. Such as? You want to know? You really want to know? There's a mad mage that just convinced Parliament to approve an enormous magical defense system to surround the city, supported by an army of wizard cops. Ah yes, Lord Urg's Magical Defences Act. Well, I've done the maths, and as Laird Provost of this city, when I have the readies in excess of the 80 million gold pieces a year it would take to fully magically surveil the city without draining every single ley lane in the country, I'll get to it then. But before that, I have an army to build. Okay, but then there's the potential Draconist reaction when Parliament votes down that housing moratorium, put at the top of the parliamentary docket and passed unanimously. What? I had a lovely conversation with a royalist whip. Well, maybe you can have a conversation with the madman who's currently wasting parliamentary time trying to open up trade negotiations with the courts of Fairy. I have, in fact, already had a lovely conversation with Laird Cryer where I expressed our concerns about the ramifications of the entire country being bound into a Fae Pact, whereupon I convinced him to withdraw the legislation and then bargained him down to a hereditary title as ambassador to Fairy. You did? And you didn't scream at him? I screamed at him with my eyes, and in my mind I was tearing him limb from limb for his arrogance, but sometimes you just need to compromise. Babe, I need you to understand that I'm really trying to remain calm, in spite of it all, for you. Oh, Manuela. Your Majesty, I'm back. I've got your receipts, a pair of apple fritters, compliments of Mrs. Overhill of Overhill and Sons, and your plain oats and milk right here. Oats? What oats? Why are you talking about oats? Oh, finally. Great oats, Rudy. I made you got them done in time. Why did you make them oats, Rudy? They specifically asked for them. Did they threaten you? No! Well, it was more of a don't make me angry. Mostly it was just a very persuasive argument about food logistics. You threatened him! I did not. It says there's no use crying over spilled oats. Much of these cost anyway, Rudy. Give or take 39 gold pieces? I beg your fucking pardon. 39 gold pieces? Yeah, thereabouts. You did say they were good. I said they were good, but they're not 39 gold pieces good. What did those grocers actually charge? Much were the oats, Rudy? About 2 copper a pound. I ordered 10, but when I told them who it was for, they threw in some extra for free. That's nice of them. What about the milk? Well, that was one of the more expensive items. How expensive? Just under a silver piece for a litre? The math ain't mathing, Rudy. Much was the salt. Rudy, I swear by my honour dead. 1,000 gold pieces. A ton? More like a pound. How could you keep this from me? Wait, never mind how could you keep this from me. How did you keep this from me? How are our heads not already on pikes? I liquidated the state granary and the palace's personal salt reserves and distributed them to key industries throughout the realm to keep down supply food prices relatively stable. Otherwise there would have been riots. Are you mad? I am equal parts mad, impressed, and just a smidge turned on? Oh, Manuela. Keep your tongue in your mouth. I'm going to be mad first. Yes, your illustrious majesty. Rudy, give those apple fritters a little extra toasting and then bring through some coffee for myself and some chamomile tea for my sleepless paramour. Please and thank you. Right away, your majesty. Wait a second, Rudy. Yeah? How in the hells were you intending on serving all of that food for that banquet with absolutely no salt? Spymaster, summon 50 of my household guard, please. Rudy, take me to the illegal salt market. What illegal salt market?
Meanwhile, in the illegal salt market!
Are they saying sell as in the opposite of to buy, or the bouchonnet sell, meaning salt? Why would 100 people gathered in an illegal salt market holding salt trading future slips, literally surrounded by salt, be shouting the word salt en masse? Maybe they're confused. They're trying to get out of the market. But that would mean the market's crashing. Of course the market's crashing. Look at them! Sell! Sell! Follow with all the gods! Oh, such a dick! But I don't understand. Why is no one buying the salt? Because they don't have any money. All they have is salt. What? The minute you started secretly buying and hoarding salt, salt futures managed to rise in value to be roughly the equivalent of silver. So everyone else also started up secretly buying salt and hoarding away, hoping that their futures would also increase in value. Well, yes, of course, market forces, profit motive, purchasing power. And what little profit they did make, they used to buy things. But now, salt works have clamped down on overall production due to high demand, and now salt is roughly equivalent in value to that of diamond dust. So now salt is so expensive that no one, and I mean no one, can afford to purchase it wholesale in order to supply downwind to wider markets. And everyone is pissed off at you! So they needed a loan, or you created an artificial scarcity of an inelastic product with downwind impacts on food production to the point of rendering both it and food completely unaffordable, you stupid motherfucker! You can't talk to me like that, I'm your boss! You won't even be able to afford to pay me when this pointless bubble bursts or when the Monarch marches down here to hand you your ass. How long did you think you could get away with this? Well, at least until I can afford my new ballroom. Oh God, was that the market? No, that was just the warehouse doors being busted open by what looks like a very angry head of state. My. Isn't this a lot of salt? Oh no, defend me! No thanks, I used my last round of trades to purchase my commission in the Riez Mercantile Company. See ya! Oh, you little... This is in fact more salt than I have ever seen in one place, Your Majesty. And in such variety, I see pink salt, black salt, bamboo, coconut, jade, imperial. I dare say it looks like you have almost all the salt in the realm. I wasn't aware that Their Highness was so interested in salt production. I had decided I would learn a lot about it after I found out that my porridge oats would cost me 39 gold pieces. Your Majesty eats porridge oats for breakfast? Do you remember what I said to you the last time I had to come down here to have a little tete-a-tete about working with the best interest of the realm at heart? Vaguely. Well, I just finished taxing your family back the dirt that it came from, so what do you think is going to happen next? Oh God, please no! Oh please! Oh God, no! Dear God, anything but that! He'll last well with the community in here. Right! All those assembled, I am hereby purchasing all of this salt and any futures in your possession at roughly 1% of fair market value. Any objections, you can always divert them up there if you need a personal reminder of what a fucking monarchy is. Sell. I bet those idiot chosen ones don't need to deal with anything as frustrating as this.
Meanwhile, at the end of a labyrinth underneath a pyramid.
That's strange. For being in the central chamber of a pyramid built by necromancers and destroyed by the pharaohs, we seem to be lacking in telltale signs of undead. Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I'd say this place feels holy? Paladin, what did I say about careful footing? Yeah, sorry, Rogue, I was checking my footing, I just didn't expect to kick down and find— Ah! That's a skull! There's a skull in the helmet! Oh, shit. This project and others like it were made possible by the generosity of my patrons on Patreon. Special thanks to all my legendary and sandwich tier patrons, Jericho Spades, Griffin Provenzano, Divil, and Brandon Cryer. And an extra special thank you to all of my early backers: Ryan Henderson, Winter Slade, D Sparrow, Dugrin, Watchful Spirit, Harrison Pollen, Gunner, Computer Coder, Patchwork Wizard, Zeb Pickering Polstra, William Ferrari, Isaac Davies, Sashot Mack, Andrew Davis, Lemon Planter, Sora Mayura Yukino, Displacer Cat She, Zydax, Gabriel Shepherd, Harry 1863, Anthony Williams, Kay Burnett, Peter Allen, Merrill Douglas, Jordan S, Adam Glover, Wanna Trip Baby, Damian Lane, Carl Lilia, Righteous Steak, Thomas O'Neill, Joshua Smith, Jenny Size, Matthew, and Evan Haggart. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to access behind-the-scenes content and the ability to influence our future projects, please consider joining our Patreon or supporting us directly by going to weredsheadproductions.com to donate or buy our new merch.